tackle at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win! They win!
Let's turn now to the Budweiser starting lineups for this season opening action. For the Sacramento Kings, Walt Williams, who really stepped up last year, particularly after the All-Star break, along with Brian Grant, no longer a rookie, but already establishing a reputation as a force in this league. Olin Polynice, the veteran 7-footer in the middle, and Bobby Hurley starts at the point. All-Star guard Mitch Richmond, of course, will go at the shooting guard position. Now, for the Minnesota Timberwolves, Sam Mitchell and Tom Gugliotta have the forward spots. Christian Laettner, as Derek was mentioning during our introductions from the floor, now starts at center. Terry Porter is kind of a last-minute addition as the starting point guard tonight, along with Doug West. Michael Williams, who had missed all of last year with a foot injury, had been the expected starter, but he sprained an ankle, and he wasn't able to respond tonight. And so Porter, the veteran of so many great years in Portland, now a member of the Timberwolves, will start in the backcourt at the point. Now, we talked about Kevin Garnett a bit earlier. Following shoot-around this morning, he was asked about making the transition from the high school ranks to the tough business of the NBA and his expectations.
I'm saying, the NBA is no weak league. Everybody here has worked hard to get here, and they're very great players. So I don't really have no low expectation of it. So all my expectations are very high. Anything else, if anything, they can be made low. But for now, it's been what I expected.
He stands 6'11". He was the 5th player selected in the draft last June, coming out of Chicago's Farragut Academy. Going to be fun to watch this youngster develop in the league. Well, you can see the spotlight circle the floor, the starting lineups being introduced to this capacity crowd. In terms of turnaround last year, the Kings, Derek, jumped up by 11 games. Very impressive number. That kind of pales by what the Mavericks did with their 23-game turnaround, but then keep in mind 2 years ago Dallas was absolutely miserable.
Well, I think Gary St. Jean touched on it in that he wants to continue to try to keep the personality of this team aggressive, and that don't let 39 or 40 games be a benchmark. Continue to strive for winning every game starting tonight, but look closer to that 50-win mark. If you fall short of that, 45 will get you in the playoffs.
In terms of defense, the Kings did a terrific job last year. You can see that they led the NBA last year in 27 teams. This year there are 29. In terms of three-point defensive capability, they were 2nd overall in opponents' field goal percentage and in the top 10 in 3 other categories. And that, I think, is as much as anything really signified that turnaround for Sacramento in making the jump to the 39-win level.
Indeed it did, but they have to continue that aggressive play. Without Spud Webb, defensive three-point perimeter defense is going to be very important for Bobby Hurley and Tyus Edney to try to establish that early, because Mitch Richmond is going to be a very stable force out there.
Well, the introduction of the starting lineups has been concluded. They wait for the lights to come to power here at Arco, and the team gathered around Gary St. Jean, a Kings team that enjoyed its best ever preseason since coming to Sacramento in 1985. They were 5-2. The 2 losses, one a tight one at Detroit, and then there was an old-fashioned shellacking in the 2nd game of the preseason down in Los Angeles against the Clippers. The thing that has surprised people around the league, however, is Minnesota's success in the preseason. They had the best preseason record of the NBA, winning 7 out of 8. Their only loss was to the Los Angeles Lakers. They're hoping that they can build on that preseason, show some consistency, and begin to step up themselves. And it's a big job for them, but with a lot of new faces, they think that they're going to be capable of doing that. We mentioned that the Kings have won 6 of 7 in their home openers in the Sacramento era. Gary St. Jean has won his 3 previous home openers since taking over this ball club. He'd like to keep that 4-0, make that 4-0 tonight. For the Timberwolves, we're getting a look at Bill Blair, their 53-year-old head coach. He's now in his 2nd year with the head coaching reins. He had served 13 years as an assistant around the NBA in Indiana, also Washington, Chicago, and New Jersey. Former head college coach at VMI in Colorado. Larry Onos on the right, Robbie Robinson on the left are the two men with the whistles tonight. And I got to tell you, these guys have got to be feeling some pressure because remember, we are using replacement officials in the NBA. The regular guys who we've gotten used to over the years are having a labor dispute still with the NBA that is yet to be resolved. And a lot of people are very concerned about how these young replacement officials are going to be able to handle the pressure of the regular NBA season. We'll find out. This one is underway. Porter matches up with Hurley to Gugliotta as the T-Wolves have the opening possession.
Keep in mind there are only 2 officials out there, unlike the 3 experienced NBA officials we're accustomed to.
And immediately we have a whistle for an illegal defense call from Robbie Robinson, and the Kings are howling in protest. They didn't like that. And one of the things that Gary St. Jean has admonished his players on the floor, and he's admonished himself, he said we can't get emotional over these calls. We've got to take it and move on. Leitner isolated into the lane in traffic out to Mitchell. A new acquisition, misses the pull-up jumper. Brian Grant rebounds, and the Kings are on the run for the first time. Hurley at the point. Walt Williams, who's had a terrific preseason, looking very strong, feeds it back out for the reset. Richmond off the pick, matches up tonight with Doug West.
Kings are going to have to look inside to try to get the ball down on the block as soon as possible. Let Brian Grant operate and let Olden Polynice go one-on-one against Christian Leitner.
Doug West picks up the personal foul. It puts Brian Grant at the free throw line. And one of the encouraging things that we have seen starting here in this preseason with Brian Grant is that he has been much more consistent at the free throw line.
Well, the Kings have to pick up as a team from the free throw line.
Well, starting tonight, Kings Television going interactive. We're ready to receive your email questions on the Incredible Universe email strategy of the game. So send us your questions on the electronic highway. IUKings@AOL.com. That's IUKings@AOL.com for the Incredible Universe email strategy of the game. Gugliotta outside the arc nails the three-pointer. So the Kings, who got 1 of 2 at the free throw stripe, now find themselves down by a bucket here at 3-1.
Well, defensively, Bobby Hurley lost his footing on that play, wasn't able to recover, and Brian Grant trying to help, got caught in between.
Mitch Richmond penetrating, has to end up forcing the shot, didn't come close to getting it to drop. In transition, Leitner takes the feed. He's got the layup, and the T-Wolves capitalizing very quickly.
That's one of the things that Bill Blair said he wants to do. You and I had a chance to talk with Randy Whitman, assistant coach, before the game, and he said this team wants to run. And if with Christian on the floor in the middle, they are going to do an awful lot of running.
Backdoor feed for Walt Williams. The turnaround attempt that took him further away from the basket than he intended ends up short. Porter trying to shake off the defender all the way through with the left hand, tipped in by Leitner.
What an athletic team this is, and to maintain its composure, show some experience. Terry Porter's a guy who's going to help this team. He has 84 games of playoff experience under his belt. He can really help settle down some of these gifted athletes on this T-Wolves team.
Grant isolated, draws the double team out to Williams for the three-point attempt. He's got the bucket, and the Wizard, who had a nice, strong three-point preseason, nails his first attempt. He was 10 of 18 in the preseason from outside the arc.
It's one way that Brian Grant has really matured, in that now he has developed an area of passing the ball out instead of just getting it out of his hands.
West loses the ball inside, tried to drop it off to Leitner, stolen by Walt Williams. Going end-to-end, the Wizard in traffic, and a block foul is called as Williams ends up sprawled along the baseline.
Great defense inside by the Kings, and the Wizard takes the ball off the dribble, as we know he's capable of doing, keeps it alive and gets one more step inside the paint. Nobody's picking him up or stopping him. He takes the ball all the way to the basket. That should have been 2 shots.
Surprised that it wasn't. The Kings now will go to work in the half-court set with plenty of time on the shot clock. Boy, St. Jean is living about something. Here's the feed inside to Grant for the power jam.
Gary St. Jean wanted an illegal defense, but allowed the Kings enough time to get the Timberwolves away from the basket. Easy basket for Brian Grant.
So after the Timberwolves jumped out to a 7-1 lead, 5 unanswered points for Sacramento. Kings trying to pressure the defense on the perimeter. The T-Wolves take it down inside, and this is Gugliotta. Mitchell rattles it from the corner. Ball's tipped out. Richmond controls for the Kings. Bobby Hurley with a bullet inside and off the fingertips of Olden Polynice. Couldn't hang on to it. Good look by Bobby, but the ball just unable to be dealt with by OP inside, so a Sacramento turnover.
OP trying to take advantage of the smaller 6'7" Sam Mitchell on him down underneath and couldn't quite get away from him.
Turnovers were a problem in the preseason for the Kings. They averaged better than 22 turnovers per game, and that is not a healthy number. You want to see it down around 15, 16 a game max. Another shot missed on the perimeter. The ball goes out of bounds, and it will go to the Timberwolves.
That's a good call.
Target treat seats are back. Visit any Sacramento area Target store. Pick up a treat seat coupon. Your chance to purchase $14.50 tickets for just $7 to any of 12 Kings games this season. That's treat seats. That's a bargain. Courtesy of Target. Leitner miscommunicates, was trying to go inside. They were trying to get West to post up on the smaller Hurley. And Derek, I think we're probably going to see a lot of that this year. Opponents trying to capitalize against the smaller Kings guards, but that time they turned it over.
Well, indeed, that's going to happen. We saw it last year with Spud Webb, but you didn't see it that often because if the Kings are able to rotate, get some double downs, they'll get the ball out of whoever the post-up man is, get it out of his hand.
Well, the Kings get a breath of new life there as the three-point attempt by Walt Williams was long. In fact, an air ball, and Gugliotta unable to hang on to it. I think we'll get a reset on the shot clock. They had anticipated the possession. Bill Blair has come up to center court to talk to Robinson.
Well, Gugliotta anticipated the ball falling in his hands and turned his head, and he just lost it off his hands, and he did not have possession, so it's only 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock for the Kings.
You can see how those shot clocks are positioned there. Three-sided clock on top of the backboard. Richmond in traffic, tried to drop it inside, and goes right into the hands of Sam Mitchell. Outlet to Porter. Porter with that head shake drives into the lane, and he is fouled. Bobby Hurley with the reach inside.
Well, it's getting pretty physical inside, especially in the half-court set down on the Minnesota offensive end. And here you see Bobby Hurley stripping the ball away. From our angle, it looked like a good call. But, you know, again, we talked about two officials out here who don't have the NBA experience versus the regular NBA experience referee team of 3 officials. It's going to be a little different, and you will not see a lot of calls that you normally would see.
Terry Porter hits the first one. Timberwolves have a 2-point lead. Terry Porter played for 10 years. Well, actually 11 years up in Portland. This is his 12th NBA season, a free agent acquisition, and a fine one. The Kings would have loved to have been able to put Terry Porter in a Sacramento uniform, but they just didn't have enough room. They were capped out, and they have that $1 million exemption as a base salary, and that was all they could offer, and Porter wanted much more, and he got it in Minnesota.
Well, he missed 47 games last year because of a foot injury.
We've got a tie ball game as Mitch Richmond knocks down the three-pointer on the wing, and we are even at 9. For each three-point field goal made by the Kings, San Francisco Federal makes a $25 donation to the Kings Community Foundation. So ring up $50 already tonight in the opening minutes of this one as the Kings have hit 2 on the perimeter. Leitner with the runner that ends up short, and the foul is on Olden Polynice.
Christian Leitner's one of those players on the isolation. You're going to see him put the ball on his floor and go to his right. He likes to go to his right, and if he does that, he'll put it on about 2 dribbles and then pick it up and try to either make the shot or pass the ball off. And if Olden Polynice is able to overplay that right side, he will not go all the way to the basket going left.
Christian Leitner, an 80% free throw shooter in the preseason. He set a Timberwolves club record a couple of years back when he had 18 of 20 against Sacramento on a night that saw him just get a constant parade to the free throw line. 6 points now for Leitner. Timberwolves on top by 2. We're nearly 5 minutes into this season opener. Richmond off the pick, firing, comes up short. Polynice trying to keep it alive, and he corrals it for Sacramento. He finds Grant for the spin move to turn around. He's fouled, and the shot doesn't drop.
Isn't it fun to watch him inside the paint when he gets the ball in his hand, because you know he's going to try to go up and score. Last year, Brian Grant would fade away or just throw the ball up. Now he's using his strength. He did not get the ball knocked out of his hands, but was still able to get his hands up above his waist and get that shot attempt off.
Yeah, we were bragging about his free throw shooting skills. He hit 1 of 2 the first time to the line. He gets the first one here, and now an opportunity to tie this one. You see the tattoos. That's a fresh look for Brian Grant this year. That's Bob Marley you see on the right shoulder. He has an astrological sign on the other shoulder that he acquired during the offseason.
for the Kings to step up. You mentioned turnovers. They have to minimize their turnovers, averaging over 17 a game last year, and also hit at least 72 to 75% of their free throws.
Oh, nice strip by Mitch Richmond. Williams breaks out. Kings 3-on-3. The Wizard with a high dribble toward the baseline now takes it out on top to Hurley. Good defensive rotation by Sacramento that time as they adjusted to a pair of shots. Shot clock inside 10. Richmond trying to create. High off the glass, can't get it. Ball's tipped out and it's controlled by the Timberwolves. Doug West. West all the way through with his great athleticism. He gets the basket and he'll go to the line. Before he gets a chance to cap the three-point play, we'll have a timeout here. This word is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Well, let's check out the Southwest Airlines Kings itinerary as the Kings host the Clippers Sunday night here at Arco. That's a 6 o'clock ball game, and some tickets are available at the box office. So if you can't make it to the game, join Garnett8p on KHTK Hot Talk 1140 and the Kings Radio Network. That's Sunday night, the Clippers here at Arco, and then next week the Kings are on the road. There's the #1 draft pick of the Sacramento Kings, Corliss Williamson. Boy, it's going to be fun to watch him when he gets fully healthy, and he's getting healthier literally by the day. He's hoping that he'll be able to start full drills when the Kings come back off that road trip back east. And about a month from now, I think we'll be seeing him getting his first minutes in a Kings uniform.
Will add to Gary St. Jean's problem of playing time for everybody, but it's a good problem to have, looking down on the bench, as he mentioned in the opening segment, that now he's got some options when he looks down there. He wants to put talent in. He's got some choices.
Kings trail by 3 after the three-point play from Doug West, capped by that free throw. We're at the midpoint of the opening quarter. I'm Gary Gerald along with Derek Dickey. Good to have you with us tonight here in this season opener from Arco. 4 on the shot clock. Williams fires, doesn't get it, and a loose ball foul is called, and it's going to be called on Sam Mitchell of the Timberwolves. Tyus Edney is peeling off the sweats as we see Sam Mitchell's reaction to that call. He's not happy. And here's the rookie from UCLA who just may turn out to be the steal of the 1995 college draft. All the way down at the number 47 spot. He hasn't played like a late second-round pick in preseason. Kevin Garnett also coming in. We talked about him in the open of the show. From the high school to NBA. Hard to believe it has been done in the past. You think about Moses Malone and Bill Willoughby and some of those names. But it's been 20 years since anybody has gone directly from high school to the pro game. This is Edney with the ball. Shot clock at 10. Ryan Williams trying to get space against the double team. The turnaround hangs on the iron. Not there. Leitner with the board, and the T-Wolves will try to capitalize now at the 5.5-minute mark. Porter pushes it up. On top, looking at Garnett. Porter on the perimeter firing long range. Doesn't get it. Grant high for the rebound. With Brian Grant, you can just see the effort oozing out of every pore. Oh, Olden Polynice just set a vicious pick down there as he floored Terry Porter, and he was called for it. That's the second foul on OP. Man, I mean, he just drilled Porter.
He caught Terry Porter off guard, and take a look at Olden Polynice, number 0. That looks like a good screen from where we're sitting, but they called it an offensive foul on Polynice.
And it's going to bring Michael Smith into the Kings lineup at the next dead ball situation. Porter isolated against Edney, trying to back the rookie down. Now Leitner sets the pick on the screen and roll. Leitner from the baseline passed up the 12-14 footer. Now he'll launch long range, doesn't get it. Walt Williams with a rebound. Edney quickly into the front court. Finds the seam. He's got the bucket. Boy, what did we say about a late second-round pick? He looked like a true veteran there as he beat Porter off the dribble.
But Tyus is so slick with his ball handling that he can keep it alive and actually dribble underneath the arms of much taller defenders and take the ball all the way to the front of the rim.
Mitch Richmond is called for the foul as he was trying to deny position to Doug West down inside. Michael Smith will check in now. He replaces Olden Polynice. Michael Smith getting a nice hand as he comes in. Polynice gets a bang on the backside from Gary St. Jean. Got some changes here now for the Timberwolves as Jerome Allen, a rookie from Pennsylvania, checks in, and also Sean Rooks making his first appearance in the game. Sean Rooks, the former Arizona collegiate star, spent a couple of years in Dallas. Boy, he's had some great games against the Kings in the last couple of years. He's looked all world against Sacramento. Bullet pass inside from Allen, broken up, and the Kings come away with it. Long lead out pass. That one will be broken up by the Timberwolves as the Kings tried to go to Brian Grant. Allen on the perimeter to Garnett. Back on top to Gugliotta.
He gave up his dribble. Get up on him, Brian.
The matchup down inside has Rooks trying to get position against Michael Smith. Gugliotta loses the ball on a travel.
The ball was passed out to Gugliotta and went between his hands, and I think the regular officiating crew would have constituted that a dribble. And he puts the ball on the floor and no call is made, but he does turn it over.
Fifth turnover for the Timberwolves. 4, as you can see, for the Kings thus far. Coming down toward the 3.5-minute mark in the opening quarter. It's a low-scoring, very physical game thus far. A lot of intensity. Here's Grant trying to create. Out to Walt Williams. He penetrates the high floater up and in. That looked like almost there was a mistake, and it found nothing but net.
That was a knuckleball. Looked like Woods just barely got the ball out of his hands, but threw it up over the much taller Sean Rooks.
Yeah, the Kings have the lead for the moment by 1. Allen on the perimeter for the 3 ball. It's an air ball. Gugliotta trying to save, does. Garnett gets his first NBA basket.
Well, this young man, we're going to see a lot of him, not only on the scoring end, but he led this team in block shots during the preseason, averaging 1.6 block shots per game. So he has some athletic ability. I'll bet he's going to change a few light bulbs and make a few fouls in the process.
Walt Williams in rhythm, nicely done from just inside the 3-point arc. He has 7 points for the Kings. We're back in front by 1. Edney stalking Allen. Pair of rookies, and now Bill Blair and the Timberwolves want a timeout. 2:49 to go in the first quarter. Sacramento with a 1-point lead on opening night. We take the break. Timberwolves now with the ball as we return to live action. 2:40 to play, opening quarter. Jerome Allen, the rookie from Penn, looking inside to Rooks. Rooks ends up on the floor as Dwayne Coswell is taking a defensive stance. And the foul is on Coswell.
Isn't it amazing when Dwayne comes in the game? It doesn't matter what the play is. He's going to get called with that first foul. I thought Dwayne had pretty good position, but the officials are going to call him for using his leg, putting his left leg out there and trying to prevent Sean Rooks from making that move.
Well, the Kings are in the penalty situation now with their 5th team foul of the quarter. Rooks at the line, and the first one he spins it down. Once again, we want to mention now this business of email. You can question strategy in this one tonight. Send us your questions on the electronic highway at iukings@aol.com. iukings@aol.com. The Incredible Universe email strategy of the game. Score tied at 17.
Young man had just left the free throw line. Sean Rooks had career high last March. 28 points and 13 rebounds here against the Kings.
Oh, what a great fake by Richmond. He missed the shot. Michael Smith puts it back up. It rolls and falls out, and the Timberwolves get it back. Allen with a little change of direction there when he turned it with a hand, but no call. Ball kept alive by the Timberwolves. Isaiah Ryder seeing him for the first time now, handling and feeding Gugliotta. Gugliotta with a spin move, the drop step on Coswell. Causey with a block over the top, but we got a grab foul called on Richmond prior to that.
I believe it's Tyus Edney.
Going to the line will be Gugliotta. Trying to break a tie in a low-scoring first quarter. Tickets for individual Kings games on sale now. Call Bass Tickets 923-BASS, or you can stop by the box office at Arco Arena. Sharunas Marshallonis, one of the new faces for the Kings, spelling Mitch Richmond. Richmond getting his first breather. Kings fans are going to love watching Marshallonis as we check the Ford NBA scoreboard. How about this for a nail-biter tonight at the new Fleet Center in Boston? Milwaukee on the road gets the win. Philly a 2-point winner over Washington at the Spectrum. Orlando tonight knocks off Cleveland without Shaq by 11. We'll check other scores. 14 games around the NBA on opening night. Edney penetrates, spins, looking for help. He's in trouble in the lane, loses the ball, gets it back, drops it off to Coswell, trying to get space, called for travel, no basket.
That's a pretty interesting exchange there. Neither team could get a handle on it, but Tyus Edney gets caught in the lane. I thought they were going to call 4 seconds on him. He was in there at least 5 or 6, but they never made the call, and the ball was tipped out of his hands. The Kings got it back and turned it over once again.
Gugliotta sets the pick for Allen. Here's the return pass. Gugliotta. Kings hounding him. Wizard comes up with a steal. Flips it behind his back, literally to Edney. So another turnover, this time by the Timberwolves. Marciulionis out to Williams for the spot up 3. He's got the bucket, and the Kings take the lead.
You're going to love Sharunas Marciulionis. We call him Rooney in the locker room, but
oh, look at this. Allen looked at the coach, threw it off the back of a teammate. Marciulionis loses the handle. Edney saves it. It's getting wild and wacky. Edney goes baseline to Coswell. Power jam, and he's fouled. Well, they love it at Arco. A lot of the fans coming to their feet as this second unit has come in here with a lot of fire.
And the T-Wolves second unit doesn't have any fire at all. I think they're fizzling. Isaiah Ryder was looking to the bench for a timeout and turned his head. The Kings come up with the loose ball, and Tyus Edney takes the ball right inside to Dwayne Coswell, who knows how to take it to the rack.
Coswell trying to cap a three-point opportunity. Misses the free throw. Rooks tracks it down. 50 seconds to play in the opening quarter. Oh, great defense again by the Kings. Let's see what we got. A whistle out of bounds. It'll be Minnesota's ball.
Great defense. Good trapping by the Kings.
Well, the Kings have been working diligently here in this last week. Gary St. Jean was a little concerned because he said, you know, actually, next year we want to get it so that we don't have our last preseason game a full week before the season opener. He says our guys are so sick of beating each other up here in practice, and it's been very physical as they've worked on the defense, but right now it's paying some dividends.
Well, I'm still looking for some fallout from the lockout that we had this summer, and we've already seen a little bit of that in some of the players getting injured early in the preseason. But, you know, I'm knocking on my head and I'm knocking on wood that the Kings maintain their consistency with no injuries or lack of injury.
Coswell changed the shot, and it goes out of bounds off the Timberwolves, so the Kings get it back. And Bill Blair can't believe it. 22-19, Sacramento by 3. Edney goes behind the back as he tries to shake off Allen. Marciulionis with a step to his right, leans in with that soft jumper. There was all kinds of contact and no fouls called. Down to 20 seconds remaining.
It's an experienced move by Marciulionis. Normally he would get that call with the regular officiating crew, and not to take anything away from these two men that are out here.
Shot clock, game clock, both winding down. Allen finds the seam, has to go high over Coswell, gets it. 2.6 seconds to go. See if the Kings can get off a shot. Walt Williams with the runner, way off target. So we've reached the end of the opening quarter. It's been physical, it's been intense, it's been entertaining on opening night, and the Kings with a 1-point advantage as we get set for quarter number 2. Let's check out the AT&T first quarter stats. For the facts on guaranteed competitive business long-distance prices, call 1-800-COMPARE. And as we compare stats, the Kings being out-rebounded, modestly out-shooting the Timberwolves. Leading scorers, Walt Williams with a 10-point first quarter, Christian Laettner with 6 for Minnesota. The Kings nailed 3 from outside the arc in the early going. And here's our first look at Ty Corbin, a nice acquisition for the Kings. He came from Atlanta in the Spud Webb deal. He's now in his 11th NBA season, and this guy brings so much quality and versatility to the Kings roster. A great acquisition, Derek.
Oh, I think he is. He's adding not only experience, but, you know, just leadership. That one of those intangibles you find inside the locker room that can help get guys pumped up when they're down. And he talked in the paper this morning about how this team has to respond when plays are going well and when play is not going well.
Sharunas Marciulionis with that physical style, the delay, got the bucket and the foul. Kings fans are just going to fall in love with these guys. I tell you, it's just inevitable.
Oh, indeed they are. And Gary St. Jean has to realize that he now has people that he can depend on. Maybe one night Walt Williams is not doing it. Maybe Mitch Richmond's not doing it. But now you have Marciulionis, you have Tyrone Corbin, you even have you certainly have Lionel Simmons on the bench that you can bring in, a career 16-point-a-game scorer. So the Kings have a lot of versatility inside now.
Sharunas going for the free throw and misses it. So the Kings have equaled their biggest lead at 24-21, just underway in the second quarter. This is Isaiah Ryder. He's matched up against Marciulionis. Coswell trying to deny Brooks down inside. Ryder feeding baseline. Nice move, and coming across for the basket is Marcus Bragg, a rookie from Providence. Getting our first look at him tonight.
Marcus had a very good preseason, averaging 9 points and 5 rebounds a game, and he did a terrific job in the preseason with earning a lot of respect out of Providence.
Edney trying to break down the defense, feeds baseline. Coswell saves it, throws it intended for Marciulionis, and stolen by Ryder. Ryder feeding ahead. Garnett with a quick pass to Bragg, and Bragg misses this one, and Michael Smith says thank you. Marciulionis out to Edney. Kings running on the wings. Edney pulls up straight away. 18-footer not there. T-Wolves back in the opposite direction. Here's Ryder inside with a quick pump fake and then up and in.
Marcus Bragg.
I'm sorry, Bragg. He's made a quick impression with his second field goal. And that gives the Timberwolves the lead on our 6th lead change of the early going.
Very strong player is Marcus Bragg. He obviously played with Michael Smith at Providence.
Backdoor lock and lob feed for Michael Smith. Ball misplaced a little bit, goes out of bounds, and it will be Kings possession with only 5 seconds on the shot clock. Quick reminder, the next edition of Kings Talk coming up Thursday. That'll be at 7 o'clock. Bob Gerald and Derek Dickey for NBA Talk, and your calls on Hot Talk Radio. That's at 7 o'clock Thursday night. Hot Talk 1140.
See if the Kings recognize there are only 5 seconds on the clock. Got a time to get a good look at the basket.
Edney to Corbin, who's smothered, trying to make something happen. Couldn't do it. Lead out pass for Allen. Allen between the legs to the glass, doesn't get it. Ball tipped over to Marciulionis, and the Kings come back on the run. Boy, this is up and down, basically low scoring. Here's a pull-up jumper by Edney. Doesn't happen. Shot only 33% in the preseason. Got some nice wide open looks, and he has got to make that shot full with regularity. But this one tipped out of bounds to the Kings, who get a new opportunity.
I think even more important than the 33% from the field, Tyus has to cut down on his turnovers. He had one game with 6 turnovers, and he averaged about 2 a game during the preseason. But just taking care of the ball and getting good distribution.
Marciulionis high off the iron. Smith called for the loose ball foul as he crashed from the baseline. A 1-point ball game. Timberwolves have possession and the lead. We're only 2 minutes into the second quarter, in case you're just joining us tonight. Opening night action from Arco Arena. Harry St. Jean, who 3-0 in his Sacramento career as a head coach in this league on opening nights here at Arco. Mark Davis, rookie from Texas Tech. Had a look at him for the first time, as Bill Blair is showing us a lot of his bench. Terry Porter has also come back in to join Bragg, Brooks, and Ryder.
Mark Davis was second on this team in the preseason in scoring with 12 points a game and 4 rebounds, and shot 44% from the field. But another nice acquisition for this team.
Mark Davis, a 2nd-round draft pick. Number 48 spot. There have been some great names who've been drafted 48th in the NBA. There's a feed inside to Bragg. He's fouled, and he's got a 3-point opportunity. Boy, Marcus Bragg is finding himself a home down inside.
Indeed he is. He's got really strong hands. And against the Lakers on October 20th in preseason, he had 19 points and 7 rebounds. But take a look at how steady, how composed he seems to be when he gets the ball around the basket.
Last year, he played in the CBA for Grand Rapids. He was named to the CBA as the CBA Newcomer of the Year, and was also named to the All-Star team. And certainly he has honed some skills in the CBA and is making the best of an opportunity with the Timberwolves. He has given his club a 4-point lead early in this second quarter. It's a 7-point run by the T-Wolves. Edney again from 18, and again the same result. 0 for 3 on those pull-up jumpers. Look at Michael Smith. He comes busting out of there with a basketball, and the crowd loves it.
Great hustle.
Marciulionis trying to feed inside, saved by Grant. He finds space, drops it off. Here's Smith creating space and scoring.
Nice job by the sophomores, Michael Smith and Brian Grant, playing past the ball in close quarters around the basket.
Little extra step taken by Isaiah Ryder on the way into the lane, so the turnover will give the Kings the possession. Leitner comes back in. Rooks goes to the Minnesota bench. Christian scored 6 points, 2 field goals, a pair of free throws in his first stretch. Timberwolves out rebounding the Kings by 4 at this juncture. Kings are down 2 on the scoreboard, 28-26. The feed for Grant. Anticipated by the Timberwolves. Oh, they called 3 seconds. We thought it was for a foul down inside, and Robinson has the call and earns a chorus boos from the Kings fans.
That looked like a good play there with a foul at the end. Excellent defense by Marciulionis.
Marciulionis is isolated now against Ryder. Ryder with 6 on the clock. Looks like he got away with another travel that time, or last time he didn't get away with it. Looked like he got away with one there, and he takes advantage to knock down the bank shot off the spin move.
What a great athlete. You just don't know where he's going to come from on any given day. And you know, talking before the game to a couple of people from this organization, they said that, you know, off the court he was never thinking basketball. Now having experienced players like Sam Mitchell and Terry Porter might help his game.
Marciulionis got the space, couldn't make it fall. Ryder trying to go end to end, loses it off the glass. There's Bragg again. This one doesn't go. Grant has it. Look at this physical game. Oh my, and they called travel on Grant, and Brian Grant just earned a technical foul. No, he called timeout. I thought Robbie Robinson was going to hit him with a tee. Grant on the floor, hurled ball across the floor. St. Jean came all the way up to midcourt. Blair on the Timberwolves bench is up. Boy, emotions are running hot and heavy here early on opening night.
Take a look at this play as Brian Grant's going to come down with the rebound, and Christian Leitner's right there in front of him. If anything, it should be a jump ball.
Yeah. Well, Walt Williams comes back in as we look at another replay.
That should be a jump ball all the way. That's a horrible call.
Tyus Edney and Sharunas Marciulionis out as Richmond has now joined. Bench scoring favoring the Timberwolves, and Terry Porter now pushes the lead to 6. That equals the biggest of the night for Minnesota after the Kings had come back to open up a 3-point advantage. They trail now 32-26. Richmond feeds baseline to Michael Smith. He's sealed off, and the foul is called on Leitner. Every time the Kings score 110 points or win at home, take your ticket stub to Wendy Carl's Jr. You get a free Western Bacon cheeseburger with any purchase.
Well, we've talked about how the league has improved, and certainly the Western Conference, and Minnesota is one of those teams. We talked about 7-1 in preseason. They've made some major improvements with just getting this team a lot more stable than they were the last couple of years, and getting some people who are willing to pass the ball.
Coming up on our Sprite halftime report, we'll talk about today's big trade as Zoe goes south. He's down in Miami. Stats and highlights, of course, in this first half of action. Michael Smith, who struggled at the free throw line last year, continues to struggle. Here's a pull-up jumper from Corbin that ends up short. Kings looking a little tentative all of a sudden on their shot selection. Wild attempt by Davis, no good. Tip, no good. Ball off the glass again. Bragg has it knocked away. Williams is diving for it, but can't get it. Davis back in, and he is fouled. Boy, you talk about intensity on the part of hitting the offensive board. That is not something we have seen Minnesota teams do in the past.
No, we haven't, but they are doing a terrific job of just staying after the ball. And here you see Mark Davis taking the ball right to Brian Grant. But what I've noticed so far is that Brian is the only one in the air for the Kings going after defensive rebounds, and he's got to have help from the other 4 players on the floor. Before you can go out on a break, you got to have the ball.
More scores in opening night. The Pacers road winners in Atlanta by 5 over the Hawks. New York Knicks get the victory at Detroit over the Pistons. On the Ford NBA scoreboard, Chicago beating Charlotte. Jordan tonight had 42 points for the Bulls. And the Bulls, they are loaded this year. An 11-2 Minnesota run, and we now have a timeout called by the Kings with 7:03 to go in the first half. This was now brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Well, our email strategy of the game has prompted this question tonight in the Incredible Universe new feature. Did Bobby Hurley get the start tonight, Derek, because Tyus Edney is a rookie? Fishin wants to know.
Well, I think Bobby Hurley got the start because of his seniority from last year, and certainly with Tyus being a rookie, you could have even gone with Marshallonis at the starting point guard, or you could have gone with Walt Williams. But give Bobby Hurley a chance to show that he is the player that we knew he was in college.
Right now, both Hurley and Edney are on the bench. The Kings have Michael Smith, Brian Grant, Mitch Richmond, Ty Corbin, and Walt Williams on the floor. An 11-2 Timberwolves run has given Minnesota a 6-point lead. And Brian Grant draws a big crowd. Dumps it out to the Wizard. Firing for three. Got another one.
Good patience by Brian Grant to take the ball inside, wait for the double team occur, and then pitch it back out for an easy, uncontested shot by Walt Williams.
That's 13 points now for Walt Williams, and the Kings cut that deficit in half. Mark Davis, the rookie from Texas Tech, to Gugliotta. Now Porter. T-Wolf showing a lot of movement there, but the pass was broken up by Corbin, and the Kings come back. Corbin can't feel the pass from Walt Williams. The ball slipped off the Wizards' hand, and it was behind Corbin. He had no chance to corral it, so they swapped turnovers.
Walt still having a problem with taking care of the ball. That was not the best pass, but in preseason, he averaged 3.5 turnovers per game, so he's got to cut down on that number.
Doug West, his athleticism showing there with that nice take from the wing, makes it 34-29. Interesting now, the match defensively that time for the Kings had Mitch Richmond going against Terry Porter. Porter, meanwhile, is working against Tyrone Corbin, who has the ball for a moment. Now it's Walt Williams for the Kings with 10 on the shot clock. Midpoint, second quarter. Williams with the spin, the fake. He's fouled, no call. He ends up on the floor, and that was right in front of the official. Well,
unbelievable.
Get used to it. Unfortunately, both teams frustrated. Gugliotta is stripped, and there's no call there. And Bill Blair can't believe it. And now a block foul is called on Davis. And a technical foul is called on Gugliotta.
There are going to be some people that get hurt early in the season as a result of this. And if some key players get hurt, you're going to find a settlement coming very quickly between the owners and the NBA officials.
The technical foul was whistled by Larry Onis against Tom Gugliotta. And the Kings have Mitch Richmond at the line to shoot the tee.
It's very dangerous. Very, very dangerous.
And Richmond, who struggled at the free throw stripe a bit in the preseason, misses the opportunity here. Mitch, normally about an 85, 86, 87% shooter at the line, shot only 79% in the preseason, and missed this one at the stripe. Kings, however, have the possession. Walt Williams isolated, trying to work on Mark Davis. Here comes the screen from Grant. Wiz trying to circle off the double team. Feeds it inside, and here's a whistle, and we get a fresh 24 on the kicking violation. Couple of scores. Golden State opening on the road, and the defending champion Rockets get the win tonight, big time. And Utah over Seattle at the Delta Center in Salt Lake City on this busy opening night. Ryan Grant, face-up jumper, got it. Kings are within one.
That is going to open up Bryant's game even more if he just turns and takes that quick outside face-up jumper from the baseline.
Gugliotta against Grant. Porter now with the dribble inside, dumps it out, broken up by Grant. Kings have got numbers. Lead out pass Richmond. Can he corral it? No, he can't, and they squander the open floor opportunity. Southwest Airlines and the Kings will join forces to give away rally rags to fans attending the Kings-Phoenix game on November 17th. So be sure you're in Arco November 17th for your Kings rally rag. That's courtesy of Southwest Airlines.
That's a basket the Kings have to have, and whether it was this possession or the next possession, they have to have baskets like that when you get easy opportunities in the open floor.
They forced the turnover but couldn't cash in transition. Ended up throwing it away. Lay near to West to Mitchell. Good movement, and it's Gugliotta from the corner. Short. Rebound. Back to Googs. Long reach with the left hand, and he gets the roll.
Very good athlete is Gugliotta. I liked his game when he first came out of college. He's been with the Bullets, the Warriors, now with the Timberwolves, but he's got good mobility at 6'10" tall.
He now has 7 points and 5 rebounds on the night. Richmond with a quiet night trying to create, but this one comes short off the iron into the hands of Minnesota. Polonese getting ready to come back for Sacramento. Porter running into and over Richmond, and Richmond is called for the foul, and Mitch is not happy. Boy, he better be careful. He got teed up. You could see it coming.
Mitch is saying, call it both ways. If you're going to make this call on me, make the same call down on the other end when I'm driving to the basket.
Yeah. It's early on opening night, and the frustration factor is escalating for both coaches, both rosters, and for about 17,000 fans here at Arco.
I think we're going to see a lot of frustration early in this season before the agreement is reached between the owners and the NBA officials. And let's just keep our fingers crossed and hope that we have some injury-free activities.
Low-scoring first half now with 3:45 to go. 37-33. Timberwolves with the ball in the 4-point lead. Doug West called for travel as he puts it on the floor. Their first chance to meet the Kings coming up tomorrow. Corliss Williamson and Tyus Edney. The two rookies will be at Incredible Universe from 5 until 6:30. That's tomorrow, 5 to 6:30 at Incredible Universe. Williamson and Edney. Turnovers are now even at 11 apiece. Ty Corbin out to Richmond. Williams again in the perimeter. Passes up the open shot. Feeds Corbin inside for the layup.
Great movement without the ball, but good passing in close quarters by the Kings to come up with that high percentage shot for Tyrone Corbin.
West feeds Leitner. Christian now against Polonese. On the perimeter to Porter. Plenty of time in the shot clock. Porter hooks it out. Mitchell takes a look. In traffic. Off balance with a force. No good. Williams with a rebound. Kings break out. 4-on-3 long lead to Richmond. Underneath the basket. Has to hook it out to Williams. Williams goes immediately for three. He's got another one.
Good pass by Mitch Richmond. He had nowhere to go on the baseline. Finds Walt Williams standing out at the top of the arc, who knocks it home.
Kings take the lead on the long ball, and Walt Williams having himself a very impressive first half. Now has 18 points. Sam Mitchell in the 20-foot range rattles it in and out. Polonese battling. Ball coming from the bottom of the net. Gugliotta trying to make something happen. He can't. Michael Smith says, let's run. Ahead to Williams, to Corbin. Corbin in traffic, draws the foul, and the shot doesn't drop. Boy, you want intensity. We've got it tonight. A 1-point Kings lead with 2:13 to go in the first half. We've got timeout at Arco. Let's check out tonight's Tower record breaker. On this date, 1989, 6 years ago, Sharunas Marshalonis, now with the Kings, and Alexander Volkov, who then was in Atlanta, the first players from the Soviet Union to play in an NBA regular season game. There's Sharunas. Great acquisition for the Kings, coming down along with Byron Houston from Seattle in the deal for Frank Rakowski, who of course missed all of last year for Sacramento because of a shoulder injury.
We haven't even seen Byron yet. He's another very aggressive inside player that the Kings can use, along with the #1 draft pick Corliss Williamson when he's healthy.
Tyrone Corbin hit 79% of his free throws in the preseason. We got a quick look there at Byron Houston. Corbin at the free throw line, and boy, the Kings are struggling at the free throw stripe here. Checking the numbers here unofficially, I think they're now 3 for 10. That is just horrendous.
No, that's pretty ugly.
Yeah, that's pretty ugly. They were 73% as a team in the 7 preseason games. Now they lead by a deuce, 39-37, as we near the 2-minute mark. Look at the numbers here. Minnesota always in the last 3 years one of the top 3 free throw shooting teams in the NBA, and they've missed only 3. Doug West on the perimeter doesn't get it. Corbin perfectly placed for the rebound. Gugliotta taking a quick move on Williams. The feed baseline to Brian Grant. Quick turn, misses a tip. Polonese not there. Scramble. Kings come away with it again. Now it's wrestled away, and we've got a whistle here. And what do we got called? A timeout. On the floor was Doug West as he ended up wrestling it away. It'll be a 22nd timeout. So not a full break. We'll keep it here courtside at Arco with 1:45 to play. Once again, a reminder, if you've got a question tonight, want to join us here as we're interactive. Get on the web. You can send your question to iukings@aol.com for the Incredible Universe email strategy of the game. Nice new wrinkle that I think will be fun during the course of this season for Sacramento. Also, a quick reminder, a limited number of Kings season tickets still available. Your season ticket entitles you to the same seat for the entire season. There's no sharing, no exchanging, no standing in line, no worries. You just get good NBA, all-out basketball. Operators are standing by right now. Let's give you that number. If you're interested in information on Kings season tickets, 928-3650. 928-3650. You can call them right now.
But Brian Grant is still fuming because he felt like he had possession of that ball and it was wrestled away from him by Doug West, but they did not give him the call. They gave the ball to the T-Wolves.
Bobby Hurley at the point, now matched up against Terry Porter, and Porter going to try to back him down. Now plays screen and roll with Leitner. Leitner hooks the pass to the far side. Good movement. Porter frees up for the long-range attempt and is nailing it. Terry Porter from three-point range, and that's our 8th lead change of the ball game as the Timberwolves go on top by 1.
After 12 years, he can still shoot from deep.
7 points on the night for Porter. Richmond off the pick in rhythm, firing, got it. Now that was beautifully executed. The setup pass for the assist came from Walt Williams, and Richmond has a modest 5 points.
Indeed it was. Mitch did not score very well in the preseason, only about 10 points a game, but if he's able to catch the ball in rhythm and get started early, we know what he's capable of doing.
Gugliotta to try it from outside the arc. Not there. Brian Grant is. Look at this lead-out pass. Going to Richmond. Porter mugs him, and there's no call. Oh, my goodness. The ball ends up going out of bounds. This Arco crowd is getting real frustrated in terms of some of these whistles and non-whistles.
That's awful. That's awful.
Oh, my. Down to 38 seconds remaining. Leitner from the perimeter, not there. This rebound flipped out of bounds, and this one has got Sam Mitchell fuming. Because it went out of bounds. It looked like off Walt Williams.
Definitely went off Walt Williams because he had the inside position.
Oh, well. The frustration factor being shared equally by both coaches and both benches. 25 seconds to go. Richmond drives on Mitchell, and the block foul is called this time on Sam Mitchell. Now that will put the Timberwolves in the penalty. Mitchell picks up his 3rd personal, and Mitch Richmond, who missed a free throw on a technical foul attempt, now back at the free throw line. Mitch has got a unique opportunity, Derek, this year. He's in very select company after 7 years in the NBA. Only, I think it's 9 guys have ever averaged as much as 21 points a season for their first 7 seasons, and he can, if he does it again this year, he'll cut to a group of about 7.
Yeah.
And the guys that are in that group are some of the most impressive names ever to play in NBA history.
I'd say most of them are in the Hall of Fame.
That's right. Richmond gives the Kings a 2-point advantage. A little last-second juggling here by Bill Blair in terms of his lineup, anticipating a final possession. Richmond gets 2. Just under 24 seconds to go. You see the time winding down. The Kings have now matched their biggest lead of the ball game.
See if the Kings can come up with a defensive stop here and just deny the T-Wolves from scoring or getting to the free throw line.
10-3 Sacramento run. Here's Porter now trying to free up. Spins once, twice, dumps. Gugliotta misses a wide open chance. Tip is missed inside as the horn sound. And the Timberwolves had wide open opportunities, and Gugliotta just with hands on hips staring up at the basket in total disbelief as the Kings head for the locker room, leading 43-40. Well, let's check that Incredible Universe email. Alan JG has checked in on the internet. When Corliss Williamson returns, what's the most likely roster move? Got any thoughts about that, Derek?
Well, I do have some thoughts about that, and there's a couple different things. Certainly, Corliss Williamson's not going to be ready till December, so a lot of things can happen. Anything can happen between now and then. If a player goes down, you leave a roster space available, or you bring Clint McDaniel in. But if they were to come in today and play, I would say there's 2 choices. Dwayne Coswell is a possibility, or you can look at Byron Houston as a possibility.
Okay, we thank Alan JG for the question. Kings lead by 4, nearing the midpoint of the 3rd quarter. The field goal shooting for both teams in this rugged 3rd quarter, leaving a lot to be desired. The Kings have hit only 3 of 9. The Timberwolves 3 of 8 thus far. Marciulionis is on the floor for Sacramento along with Michael Smith. This is Olden Polynice with a jump hook, and he likes it.
Nice stop.
That's a matchup there where he really took advantage of Leitner at somewhat a different position that time.
I was looking for that move early in the game for the Kings to go to Polynice to try to take advantage of Christian Leitner. He had problems with power forwards. Now I know he's going to have problems against the NBA centers.
5 on the shot clock. Kings with their biggest lead. Mitchell throws up an air ball, but it goes off the fingertips of Polynice out of bounds. 1 second on the shot clock.
Well, this is an area where the Kings have had a lot of difficulty in the past. Don't bail them out by committing a foul.
Well, let's see what happens. Will it be Leitner? It will be Leitner. The desperation attempt is off the glass. He has to hit the rim in order to get another opportunity. If, in fact, the rebound had gone to the T-Wolves. So Sacramento not hurt in that situation. 3 for 9 for each club now in this third quarter. Kings were 42% first quarter, 50% in the second quarter, and now they're struggling trying to get shots. Both teams showing a lot of defensive intensity.
Well, at least that's consistent for the T-Wolves at 33% throughout the game.
Oh, right through the hands of Polynice on the bounce feed from Bobby Hurley, and Hurley is called for the midcourt foul. Target treat seats are back. Again, a reminder, visit any Sacramento area Target store, pick up a treat seat coupon. It's your chance to purchase $14.50 tickets for just $7 to any of 12 Kings games this season. That's treat seats, courtesy of Target. Mark Davis, the rookie from Texas Tech, feeds Porter. Porter has to throw it out on top to Gugliotta. Now it's Mitchell. Mitchell creating and putting it down hard with the left hand.
Sam Mitchell is a very talented basketball player, and he played with the Pacers last year, and he only averaged 7 points a game and 3 rebounds, but he has good skill and the ability to get to the front of the rim.
Early playing peekaboo over there behind the Polynice pick. The pass is deflected. It's grabbed by Mitchell. Tyus Edney getting the call from Gary St. Jean. The next dead ball possession off the hands of Leitner, out of bounds. The Timberwolves have turned it over again.
This is when Bobby has to keep his head up. He has to realize it's a mistake that I made. Come back the next time and take better care of the ball and make a better pass.
Turnover number 16 by the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Kings haven't been much better. They've had 15 miscues. Hurley now on the bench. Edney at the point. Away from the ball, we've got a whistle. We saw Marciulionis on the floor, and Mark Davis was called for the foul on the baseline, trying to deny a curl or a cut. Well, I tell you, Derek, it's been fun watching Marciulionis because he curls and cuts and slashes as hard to the basket as anybody the Kings have had in their roster in a long time.
Indeed, he does. He's been fun to watch in practice because he and Mitch Richmond go at it every day.
And now Sam Mitchell is called, trying to defend Walt Williams outside the paint. If you're a lip reader, you know the sentiments right there of Mr. Mitchell. Not real happy.
He's walking out of bounds. That was a traveling violation on Marciulionis on the sideline.
Williams feeds down to Polynice. Got space. He's out. He scores.
If you notice what the veterans are trying to get away with out here on the court, first Marciulionis takes a traveling out of bounds, and then Walt Williams is going to dribble between 2 players, and Olden Polynice gets what could be called a travel, but takes the ball right to the basket and is able to get inside and score. Good movement, excellent passing, but Walt Williams set that up by his good ball handling.
Well, the Kings tonight are 8 of 15 at the free throw stripe. This is the first opportunity for Polynice at the line. Sacramento, as a result of that successfully executed free throw, now with a 7-point lead. Biggest of the night.
Biggest of the night, yeah.
Had some changes now. Kevin Garnett ran out of Farragut Academy in Chicago. A high schooler, now in the NBA, is on the floor. Gugliotta with the ball. Here's Garnett. Nice move with the cut and gets the easy basket inside.
You know, Garnett, as some people don't realize, is not from Chicago, even though he went to Farragut Academy. There, he is actually from South Carolina.
Yeah, played 3 years down there. Interesting, he was Mr. Basketball in South Carolina as a junior, and then he won the same honor in Illinois as a senior. Walt Williams missing the attempt. Leitner can't get the rebound. The Kings get a break with 6 seconds on the shot clock.
If Kevin Garnett can withstand the NBA schedule, not only the 82 games, but the travel on the road, the hotels, the restaurants, and all the people that are going to be coming at him, he has a chance to make a tremendous career in the NBA.
Walt Williams feeds Michael Smith. Oh, he had a head of steam going, and he's on the floor.
Take a look at what Walt Williams does. He has nowhere to go with this ball, and I'm pretty sure he threw it off the back of a Timberwolf, stepped in bounds.
Yes, he did.
Take a look at that.
Yes, he did. Good call, Mr. Dickey. Boy, there's a tough foul, and Michael Smith is fortunate.
I only know about that because I've done it before, G-Man.
Well, let's see if Michael Smith can bang down a free throw. Yeah.
Finesse.
And listen to this crowd. They know that those are rare when Michael can get them to drop.
Well, in the preseason, he shot 54% from the free throw line, which is up a little bit over last year. Michael still was not the best free throw shooter in the league, but 48% is where he ended up the season.
And he earns a jump ball from Terry Porter on the second miss. Olin Polynice barking there, firing up the second-year player.
Little talking going on out there between the veteran Terry Porter and Michael Smith, but I think the officials are coming in and going to step between them real quick.
Just under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. It's a 6-point Sacramento lead as we get ready now for Porter and Smith to go up. All controlled by the Kings. Tyus Edney finds Smith baseline, big reach for the reverse. He's got the bucket.
Excellent passing. First you have to come up with the controlled tip. Then you find the open man. Excellent passing by the Kings.
Rebound numbers still favor the Timberwolves, and Minnesota wants timeout, and a lot of noise at Arco on opening night. The Kings now lead by 8 as we take the break. Well, Michael Smith brings a ferocity to the floor that's been a welcome addition to the Kings in the last year. Here's an example.
Well, you come up with a controlled tip by Michael Smith. Then he moves to the open spot. Tyus Edney finds him out there. But take a look at the roster, the lineup that's out there on the floor for Gary St. Jean. You don't see Brian Grant. You don't see Mitch Richmond. You see some players out there that Gary St. Jean has the luxury of going into his bench and getting the job done.
Kings, after struggling, missing 6 of their first 9 field goals in this quarter, have now hit 3 of their last 4. They're on a 12-4 run to lead this game 59-51 coming out of the timeout. Gary St. Jean marking out some instructions. Happy to get this season underway. And I'll tell you, the Kings, this is an interesting stretch because they play 6 games in like 9 days right out of the box. Ball ends up in the hands of Tyus Edney. See if the Kings can cash in. Marciulionis against Gugliotta. Marciulionis spins. Ball's knocked away. Rooney's there. Nice feed to OP. There's the jump hook. Kings have a double-digit lead.
Olin Polynice, but keep an eye on Sarunas Marciulionis. He doesn't get enough credit for his passing ability and the fact that he is one of the tougher, mentally toughest players in the league.
Foul here on the penetration attempt by Terry Porter. Works against Sacramento. This one's on Michael Smith, I think. Well, no, it's going to be hand check, I think, on Edney. Let's take a look at Olin.
Look at this pass inside. OP gives a quick fake to his left, comes back right with that little jump hook. He's capable of shooting that anywhere from 8 to 10 feet away from the basket in, and he has a lot of confidence with that shot now.
He now has 9 points, and all of his scoring has come here in the third quarter. Once again, the Kings are offering the popular game packs. Your chance to buy tickets to 9 games for as little as $81. There are 4 packs to choose from. Operators are standing by right now. Just call 928-3650. 928-3650 for the very popular 9-pack. Edney's pass inside, not a good one, intended for Polynice and easily deflected and stolen. Davis with a great look, and hammering it down is the rookie Kevin Garnett.
Delay of game.
Well, Kings had a 10-point lead a moment ago. We'll take a quick look here.
Tyus Edney almost had this ball, but wasn't able to get back. And there you see the young man, the rookie, the high school sensation.
Marciulionis, that'll be goaltending on the rookie. Garnett got there a little late and coming off the glass. Marciulionis, who's a natural left-hander, had a nice hard take to the right that time.
Sure did. He has a great move to his right and uses his left hand. But in high school, Garnett, and even in college, can get away with that as the ball hits the glass first, but does not on its way down to the basket. But in the NBA,
Kevin was shaking his head even as it was whistled. He knew that he had made the mistake. Kings lead is back to 8. Davis to Sean Rooks. Rooks throws it off the iron, no good. Marciulionis cruising. Now they'll settle it into the half court. Harry St. Jean, you could hear him calling for movement. Marciulionis launches. Ring it up for Sarunas.
what a nice feathery touch from outside the perimeter.
Tyus Edney with a grab trying to stalk Porter. Pound for pound, strength coach Albion Connie will tell you Sarunas Marciulionis the toughest guy in the Kings roster. And when you see that feathery touch out on the perimeter, it really catches a lot of folks by surprise.
Oh, geez. He's such an intelligent player. But this past summer, he did a tremendous job in the Euro games over there. Take a look at his outside shot, but he was the most valuable player in a series of 8 games, including players like Vlade Divac, Sabonis, several players from the NBA who are playing overseas in Europe, and Sarunas Marciulionis came away with the most valuable player honor.
He was really lost up in Seattle under George Karl. In fact, he didn't even play in one of the playoff series when they were bounced in the first round up there. And that just amazed a lot of people. He'd had injury problems a couple of years ago, but it was really interesting. Now what do we got? A block foul called here on Walt Williams, an offensive foul, as he tried to clear a lane for Tyus Edney.
Turnovers now 16 over 17.
Wow.
17th Sacramento turnover tonight.
And it's just the third quarter.
Just under a minute and a half to go in this quarter. Gugliotta firing over Michael Smith. Doesn't get it. Rebound grabbed by the Timberwolves. Porter. Garnett straight away with a 22-footer. Boy, he can shoot out on top. That'll give you some idea about this young man's versatility and his skills. He now has 8 points.
A lot of people talked about this young man. I had a chance to talk with a couple of college coaches who said, you know, this is one of the guys who they call the real deal. He has the potential, the ability to be able to step from high school right into the ranks of the pros.
Ball will go out of bounds to Sacramento with 6 seconds on the shot clock. Ty Corbin coming out of the floor as Michael Smith picks himself up off the court. Walt Williams will get a breather. Williams with 2 points in the second half after an 18-point first half. And we look at the numbers for Kevin Garnett. 4 for 4 from the floor. That's in 12 minutes of playing time.
See, a lot of guys can step into the NBA, but to step into the NBA and contribute, that's saying an awful lot. There's a foul.
That wasn't called. Marciulionis will get to the line on this one. Foul is called on Mark Davis.
Rooney comes up with the offensive rebound and goes right back to the basket, again going to his left, to his strong hand, and showing his upper body strength to try to get that ball up to the rim.
Kings' next action will be Sunday evening, a 6 o'clock game here at Arco against the LA Clippers, then on the road next week and starting in Philadelphia on Tuesday night. Eric will be televising the game from Toronto on Wednesday night next week. Then it's on to Indianapolis against the Pacers and the New Jersey Nets before returning to Sacramento. So a week-long Eastern swing coming up right out of the blocks.
Tell you what, we're going to have a treat watching Jerry Stackhouse.
Nice pass by Terry Porter for the Gugliotta basket. He draws the foul, and I'll tell you, these Timberwolves just keep scratching and digging and coming back at you.
This is a team that is certainly different. They have a different personality than they had the last few years. And, you know, they've had some tremendous talent in Leitner and Ryder and now Gugliotta and Sean Rooks. But now they're starting to show some ability to keep coming back at you by adding guys like Garnett, Davis. Michael Williams is healthy, not tonight, but he is healthy this season. Sam Mitchell is going to help, and certainly Terry Porter is going to add some leadership.
You know, normally Michael Williams would be starting at the point and Porter would be coming off the bench, but the 3-guard rotation of Porter, Williams, and Doug West is a very potent one. 5-point game. Third quarter winding down. You see the time. Shot clock on the left. Marciulionis ends up getting blocked again as he tried to dish off the pass underneath. Just over 6 seconds remaining, and Sarunas back at the line.
Take a look at Marciulionis trying to get inside, and he actually gets clipped with a little bit of body as he tries to get in there, and they call it on number 7, Mark Davis.
Sarunas tonight is 1 of 3 at the free throw stripe, and that's in contrast to about 86% in the preseason. He is almost automatic during the preseason. He was a little frustrated, I think. Now he looks like he's back in rhythm and knocks this one down. 9 points thus far, and a bid now to go into double figures, and he does. Now 6.4 seconds to go. Let's see how the Kings can defend. Jerome Allen back in with the ball. To the corner to Gugliotta for the Rainbow. Short rebound to the Kings as the horn sounds. We played 3 quarters on opening night. And Sacramento on top of this low-scoring game by 7. Fourth quarter action in a moment. Well, as we go to the fourth quarter, let's check the AT&T stats for the facts on guaranteed competitive business long-distance prices. All you have to do is call 1-800-COMPARE. Well, the Kings now at 48% after that sluggish start in the third quarter. Rebound numbers have tightened up a bit. Gugliotta leading the T-Wolves with 13. Walt Williams has 20 to pace Sacramento. Sarunas Marciulionis, the only other double-figure scorer for the Kings with 10 points. Terry Porter in double digits with 11 for the T-Wolves. Here's the rookie Allen, loses the ball off his knee, gets it back, fires, doesn't get it. Rebound to Sacramento. Richmond on the floor, lead out to Marciulionis. Had Corbin ahead, Sarunas dumps it off. T. Corbin from 12, not there. Another wide open shot that doesn't drop.
If the Kings can take better care of the ball, they have a chance to pull away from the T-Wolves by not turning it over.
Got a whistle here down in the paint away from the ball, and the foul, I believe, is going to be against Michael Smith. That is the case.
He's a little strong arm against Sean Rooks down inside.
Personal foul department. Kings have got any number of players with 3 personal fouls. Doug West and Sam Mitchell have 4. They're in some difficulty for the Timberwolves. Garnett, the rookie, still on the floor, now matched up with Corbin. He holds on top. Back to Allen. Plenty of time in the shot clock. Looking against Marciulionis.
Great defense by Brian Grant inside.
West fires over Richmond. Doesn't get it. Leitner battles. Can't get it. Newman tries to save it. Does. Brian Grant, however, loses it. Here comes Garnett. Great pass to Leitner, and he's fouled by Brian Grant.
Sarunas had a chance to save that ball, and one of the things you're always taught, I was always taught growing up, if you're going to save it, save the ball toward your basket. Don't give your defense a chance to recover the ball. Marciulionis threw the ball back toward the Timberwolves hoop.
Christian Leitner at the line. Now has 7 points on the night. Been pretty quiet in terms of scoring. Only 6 field goal attempts against this Kings defense for Leitner. He adds the pair of free throws, and this is a 5-point game once again. That's his first scoring since the first quarter.
At the center position, Christian's not going to get a lot of opportunities on the offensive end unless he's playing against one of the bigger centers in the league on set plays. He will get his points off of transition.
Marciulionis ended up trying to hang on to it, and boy, Timberwolves, there's a technical foul being assessed against someone on Doug West.
No, on Doug West, yeah.
Boy, Blair came up off the bench, and there were 3 of the T-Wolves howling out there, and Larry Onis hit the whistle, and we knew somebody was going to get teed up, and it turned out to be West.
But when you see 5 guys and the guys on the bench and the coach as well jump off the floor as a call is made, I mean, that gets a team excited a little bit. Take a look at Marciulionis. He puts his shoulder down. Now watch the bench if we can get a chance to see it. You don't see it there, but all the players and the coaches jump up in the air all of a sudden.
Bill Blair is not happy right now because Gary St. Jean was cleared down on the other side of the midcourt line in the Minnesota end of the floor talking to his troops.
Well, with 2 officials, you won't see all that. With 3 officials, it's difficult to catch it off.
Marciulionis loses the control, tries to get it back. Timberwolves ahead. Now they set it up for Rooks and Corbin. Anticipate. But Rooks comes away with it and jams it down.
Running without the ball. The Kings have done that at least 3 times that I've noticed so far.
Well, the Kings led by 11 in the third quarter at 66-55. Now it is a 4-point ball game. Walt Williams getting ready to check in, and Minnesota really aggressive with their D. Marciulionis to Brian Grant. Long-range jumper is good.
Nice soft shot by Brian Grant. Rooney got caught up in the air. He wanted to put that shot up, but he had nowhere to go.
Grant now has 11. This is Leitner. Draws the foul, doesn't get the shot for the 3-point opportunity. Walt Williams will get a chance to check in.
Take a look at Christian Leitner. He is a very intelligent player. He gives a good head fake and gets Grant off his feet. And as he does, he's still going to try to power the ball up to the basket. Great up and under move.
4th foul tonight on Brian Grant. Timberwolves tonight at the free throw line. Very impressive. They're 18 of 21. Kings are 14 of 23 at the stripe.
Gary, you don't think Kevin McHale, Vice President of Basketball Operations, taught Christian that up and under move, do you?
I can't imagine. Wonder how many points in his great career he managed to score with that move. Kevin McHale, he had the longest reach and the longest stride. You'd say, how did he manage to free up for that shot?
That was his lunchbox move. That was his office.
9.5 to go. Richmond loses the ball. Sacramento's 19th turnover of the ball game, and here come the T-Wolves. They lose the ball as Walt Williams comes away. Long lead out. Smith, the animal. Yes.
The Kings need a little bit more of that. Continue to try to come up with loose balls instead of taking the ball out of the basket.
7 points for Michael Smith. Leitner loses it. Brooks ends up with it, however. Drops the pass for Leitner. It's on the floor. Here's Richmond. Lead out. This time it's Corbin. He's got the breakaway. And the Timberwolves want timeout as the Kings had seen a lead fall from 11 to 4. Now they've pushed it back up to 9. That's 76 points for the Kings. After the game, make a fast break for a Unical. 76 station for quality, 76 gasoline. We take the break. This word's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Back-to-back breakaway baskets for the Kings. Here was the last one from Tyrone Corbin.
Well, this is what can happen when you run with the ball. Kings have tried to run without the ball a few times. You can come up with easy, fast break baskets like that. This time, Tyrone Corbin gets out on the break.
And with that 2 points from the Kings bench, Sacramento's bench has produced 26 points. The Timberwolves have gotten 22 off their bench. Marciulionis leading the bench scores with 10. Garnett has 8 for the Timberwolves. Ball knocked away from Davis, out of bounds. Kings aggressive, hustling the defense all over the floor.
Good hands by Tyrone Corbin. He's playing good defense. He's watching the eyes of the man with the ball.
Garnett to handle in front of the Kings bench. Sean Rooks out to Porter. Leitner sets the pick. Leitner gets it back into traffic. Throws it up. The banker rattles around and doesn't drop. Brian Grant ahead to Walt Williams. Williams leading all scorers with 20 points tonight. Finds Mitch Richmond.
See the versatility once again. We've seen Mitch Richmond bring the ball up. We've seen Walt Williams bring it up the floor. There is no true point guard out there right now.
Oh, look at this. Michael Smith hit the floor very hard, but he got off a pretty decent attempt on that reach underneath to try to spin it up there.
Indeed, he did. That was a nice give and go. And watch the bounce pass on the baseline side by Walt Williams to get it underneath Sean Rooks. And Michael Smith, being left-handed, actually stretches underneath the basket to try to get that shot up. But good hang time by the animal. Excellent pass by the Wizard.
Smith tonight, 7 points, 7 boards. Dropped that one cleanly. Tonight's Kings game brought to you by Beechwood Age Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you. Larry St. Jean, maybe you can hear him. One more, baby. And he's got it nicely. That looked pretty good.
That looked very good. It looked comfortable for Michael.
Yeah.
That's what he has to do. He has to walk up there feeling no pressure and just put the ball in the basket. If you miss it, you miss it.
Now Sacramento's lead back up to 11 after it had been whittled down to 4.
Have you noticed the absence of one of the T-Wolves, one of their key players the last couple of years? Isaiah Ryder has not been on the court.
He was their leading scorer last year. Richmond, nice pass to Corbin, and he mishandles it. It was partially deflected, and it went off Ty's hands out of bounds.
It sure did. Mitch had a chance. He should have taken that shot. Corbin was going inside for offensive rebounding position, and under that situation, Mitch has to take that shot.
Kings tonight are 6 of 9 from outside the arc, and it looked like Richmond was going to pull the string on another three-point attempt, but instead went with a pass to the baseline. Michael Smith with the steal. Boy, this Kings defense is really working hard tonight, but the Timberwolves have been working just as hard with their defensive intensity. It's been very impressive from that standpoint. Not a pretty game by any stretch of the imagination.
You still want to try to build on the one stat that I always like, and that's points off of turnovers. If you take the ball away from your opponent, make them pay. Get to the free throw line if you don't do anything else.
Got a whistle away from the ball. Brian Grant is singled out by Robbie Robinson as he was trying to deny position to Leitner. That's foul number 5 on Brian Grant. 7:11 to go in the ball game, and the Kings leading. That's going to get Olin Polynice coming into the game. We'll have to wait until the next opportunity. Porter around the horn, back to Leitner for the straightaway jumper. Not there. Grant with a rebound. Kings have Corbin, Michael Smith, Brian Grant, Mitch Richmond, and Walt Williams. And this time it's Williams who brings it up. Remember now again, as Derek pointed out a few moments ago, no Tyus Edney, no Bobby Hurley, a true point guard on the floor. We'll see that from time to time in various matchups this year. Richmond isolated, launches without putting it on the floor, doesn't get it. Rooks with the board. Off the dribble, the long-range jumper. Porter not there. Rebound out to Michael Smith. Good lead ahead to Richmond. Grant wants it up. He gets a bullet to Corbin for the layup.
Excellent pass by Mitch. He looked down at the floor, saw he was over the three-point line, and also caught the eye of Tyrone Corbin flashing to the hoop.
Nearing the 6-minute mark. Sacramento now by 13. Big lead of the ball game. Back to 11.
He's a horse inside. He's one of those guys that's tough to stop at. He's 6'10", 200, and I'm going to guess 260 or 70 pounds. They listed at 250.
Richmond down low. Shot clock's at 7. Mitch on the double team to Williams. Clock's at 3. Back to Mitch. They're not going to get a shot off. Oh, he stepped out of bounds, and a Sacramento turnover. Boy, they are really starting to mount up for the Kings, who averaged 21 plus turnovers in the preseason. They've now committed their 21st of this game.
They being Walt Williams and Mitch Richmond, tried to make some unorthodox or fancy passes in very close quarters on the baseline with 2 defenders there in front of him. Someone has to look to put the ball up.
One of the things we noticed, Derek, in the preseason, not only in the games but in scrimmage, that the Kings have been guilty of overpassing on numerous situations, and maybe that's a pleasant problem for a coach to work with.
Well, it is a good problem for a coach to have, because you want your guys to be unselfish, but there are players such as Mitch and Walt who everybody knows is going to take a shot in crunch time. Now, if they have an open shot, you expect them to take it so that you can get offense or defensive rebounding position.
Looking for Michael Smith. Now Williams, shoulder into the lane, kicks it out to Richmond as he drifts, and the clock again is down. Richmond with 2, fires, hits it baseline.
Tough shot by Mitch. That time he takes his shot with a defender right in his face. We know he can do that. His teammates know that he can do that. That's when the turnovers occur, when he doesn't take that shot.
Richmond now 3 for 9 on the night. He has 10 points, the 4th King in double figures. Porter on the perimeter. Defender runs at him. Back to Leitner. Leitner with a 10-footer. Rebounded by Mitchell. Partially deflected. Putback is down inside. Gugliotta gets the basket, and Gugliotta now has 15.
This Timberwolves team is still doing a good job on their offensive boards with going after every ball up there.
Richmond down low against Porter. Richmond trying to create. Nails it. Boy, that's the all-star pro there. I said it was Porter. It was Doug West he had down inside. I'm sorry.
Tremendous shot by Mitch.
Here's Leitner, and he's fouled hard by Polynice. Polynice came down and really cracked him across the back of the head.
There's a fortunate side to that. That was not called a hard foul, even though we know that it was.
Yeah,
OP comes down. That's a foul that the league might even take a look at.
I'm going to say that's borderline flagrant foul right there.
Oh, yes.
And remember what happened to Geiger when he fouled Shaquille O'Neal. He ended up getting suspended for the opening night game plus fined for a foul that was not that dissimilar to the one we just saw from Polonese.
Well, if Christian Laettner gets hurt on that play and no flagrant foul is called or hard foul is called, then you look at the chance of the league reviewing it, and Olden Polonese could possibly get suspended.
If you belong to a group of any kind, you should check out specially priced group tickets that are offered by the Kings. You can call the sales office tonight if you'd like. Operators are standing by. That number is 928-3650, 928-3650. Under 4 minutes to go in the ball game. Sacramento on top by 11. Walt Williams going to be short this time. There, Williams hot in the first half with 18 points. Has only scored 2 in the second half. Here's Laettner now with the spin and the banker. Not there. The tip not there. Smith trying to dig it away, and it goes out of bounds. It went off Doug West.
He called what? He changed his mind.
He changed his mind out underneath. The crowd had reacted, and they were going to give the ball initially to the Timberwolves. Gary St. Jean and the Kings are going to talk things over with 3:38 to go. We will take the break as well. Sacramento leading by 11 on opening night in the capital city of California. That was just over 3.5 minutes to go. Let's take a look at the Carl's Jr. game summary. T-Wolves shooting only 34% to the Kings 50%. Garnett and Laettner productive tonight. Williams, we mentioned his big first half. Sharunas Marciulionis with 10 points off the bench for Sacramento. Kings 6 of 10 from the floor in this fourth quarter here as they've opened up a margin. And look at this. Look at this. You talk about opening night shockers. Vancouver knocks off Portland in Portland at the debut of the new Rose Garden, 92-80. Benoit Benjamin had 29 in the win for the Grizzlies. And a lot of people are saying right out of the box the Grizzlies would be fortunate to win 10 games this year. They've got one on opening night.
Hello, is the NBA listening?
And Toronto, of course, as we mentioned earlier, the other expansion team, an opening night winner as well, handily beating the New Jersey Nets.
This is supposed to be expansion teams, 2 of them.
Clock's at 4. Williams can't get it to fall in the second half. Harry Porter, the ex-Trailblazer, draws the foul on the running shot attempt. Polonese is guilty of the call.
OP bailed him out because Terry Porter was actually going to his left and was looking for Christian Laettner, but his path was cut off. He had nowhere to go, so he throws it up to the rim and draws just enough contact to call that foul.
After that three-point attempt by Williams, the Kings tonight 6 of 11 from the floor. Again, a reminder that with each three-point field goal the Kings make, San Francisco Federal makes a $25 donation to the Kings Community Foundation. Here's your point guard comparison tonight. Limited minutes for Hurley and Edney, and limited productivity. Just 4 points and 2 assists for them. Porter and Allen combined for 13 points, but only 3 assists.
Well, that just tells me you don't need that quote-unquote point guard out on the floor. You do need a ball handler, and you need somebody to bring the ball across the floor. But you can see, with a good press, all you have to do is pass the ball and get it to the front court to set up the offense. Anybody can run the ball up the floor and initiate the offense.
Shot clock is down to 6. Here's Richmond open. Not there. Bounces up over the plane of the backboard, and so it goes over to Minnesota. And Gary St. Jean not real happy about the way things are unraveling, even though his club has the 9-point advantage.
The object with any offense is get the best shot available. And with a team that's pressing and trapping, if you make good passes, get the ball to the middle of the floor, you have a chance to break down that defense.
Well, Laettner mishandles the pass from Gugliotta. See if the Kings can answer. Will they milk the clock? Walt Williams calling out the instructions. The offense initiated by him now at the 2:20 mark. Williams into traffic, finds Brian Grant to the glass.
No foul.
And again, no foul is called. Gugliotta misses a wide open opportunity. Kings get a break there. Richmond off the dribble. Bangs it around. It's tipped in. Laettner, I think, may have gotten a hand on that as he went up to rebound it.
I think it might have been Brian Grant. I think so.
It'll be credited to Grant at any rate, but let's take a look. Maybe we can see here. We got a timeout coming, so we'll be taking a quick look here as the Kings get a big basket.
Nobody touched
Maybe
it.
nobody touched it. We'll be back in a moment. Well, much to my chagrin on the replay, Leitner never left his feet. Brian Grant did, but Brian didn't touch that ball, did he, Derek?
No, he did not. Take a look as the ball is up. Brian's going to go up and bring his hand back. Mitch Richmond gets the credit for the three-point basket.
So just under 2 minutes to go. Richmond going for the steal. Knocks it away, but Porter tracks it down on the backcourt. Kings lead by a dozen. T-Wolves have got to hurry. Porter trying to carry him on his shoulders. Boy, they have struggled with their shots tonight. Marshalonis now spreads the floor for Sacramento. He's in the trap. He finds Panis. Back to Rooney. Looks off a man. Feeds Grant. Got a whistle here, and Grant ends up on the floor.
Brian's got a few words for Doug West.
Now tonight after the game, be sure that you listen to Kings Rap live from the Skyline Lounge. Your chance to call in and discuss the game. Kings Rap with Brian Wheeler, newest member of our broadcast staff, tonight after the game on Hot Talk Radio, 1140. Brian Grant going to the free throw line tonight. Brian's numbers 11 points and 9 rebounds. He leads the Kings. Michael Smith has 8 in the rebounding department. Timberwolves, who've done a great job in the preseason. Remember last year in the regular season, they were out-rebounded by 6 a game, and they evened that number in the preseason, and tonight they're out-rebounding the Kings. But on the scoreboard, Sacramento now with a 13-point advantage.
Kings have done a much better job of getting good looks at the basket, brought their field goal percentage up, and also played better defense, much more aggressive defense, forcing the Timberwolves to take errant shots, or shots at least with a hand in their face.
Free throw shooting percentage still not very good at all tonight for the Kings. There's a pull-up jumper from Leitner. Just under a minute and a half to go at 11 points. Pressure in the backcourt against Sacramento. Walt Williams has his pass intended for Richmond deflected out of bounds by Gugliotta.
Gary St. Jean actually touched the ball in play. Yes, he did.
Well, Robinson is calling a technical foul on St. Jean for touching the ball while it was in play, and St. vehemently was arguing the fact that he did not touch it on the deflection by Gugliotta.
He's actually calling a second violation of a delay of game by the Kings because Gary St. Jean touched the ball before it was out of bounds. And St. did touch the ball.
He tried to play it off pretty well, didn't he?
He tried.
Well, now a 20-second timeout is called by Blair in the Timberwolves. It's a 10-point game. And the way this one is going tonight, anything can happen. Let's see if we can get a look at this, Derek.
Oh, yeah. Well, take a look as the ball is deflected by Gugliotta. Look at St. He grabs it and tries to take it.
No, I didn't touch it. I didn't touch it. What are you talking about, huh? Caught you, Coach.
Oh, yeah.
Well, a lot of energy has been expended tonight. As we've said a couple of times, it hasn't been pretty. Ugly free throw shooting, far too many turnovers. But defensive intensity, which is a hallmark of last year's turnaround for the Kings, has been certainly the hallmark of what may be a victory a minute and 21 seconds from now in terms of game time as Sacramento tries to protect a 10-point lead. Now the Kings are going to take a full timeout. Apparently they saw something on the floor as they went out to take positions. We'll take the break as well from Arco Arena with Sacramento leading at 88-78. Well, a crescendo of noise on opening night greets the Kings as they come out of the timeout with a minute 21 to go, leading by 10. Sacramento with 19 on the shot clock, and Ty Corbin, the newly acquired veteran, comes in now to put the ball in play. Williams trying to break out of a trap, throws wildly to the far side. Nice save by Grant. Tip to Richmond, back to Williams.
Someone needs to get to the top of the key around the free throw line.
Now they're down to 5 in the clock. Walt Williams tries to cross over. Will they get a shot? No, they won't.
Yes.
They did.
Yes.
He got it off. Saint stepped in front of me, and I saw the clock go to 0, and I didn't know if the ball had left his hand or not. And that's a huge shot right there. Porter gets a three-point opportunity on the penetration. Boy, I thought they were out of time as that extra pass, but they nailed it on the perimeter.
You're right. We were blocked out by Gary St. Jean, but watching it on the monitor, you got a chance to see. Look at the little ball fake by Mitch. I thought he lifted his foot, but
That's what I thought. I saw him rock in the air, and I saw that the ball didn't release, and then the clock hit 0. That's all I could see. And I thought that the Kings were guilty of a turnover. Terry Porter, who's had a 9-for-9 night at the free throw line, is back for another opportunity on a three-point attempt. Tyus Edney is now in the game for Sacramento, so the Kings have a pure ball handler on the floor to contend with the pressure. Under a minute to go. Edney, the rookie, trying to split the trap, draws the foul. It's on Gugliotta. So Tyus will go to the free throw line.
Interesting decision by Gary St. Jean. When this full court helter-skelter, he brings Tyus Edney in and not Bobby Hurley.
Sacramento leading 90-81. Bobby Hurley talking with Lionel Simmons and Byron Houston on the left side of the screen. Houston and Simmons, neither one seeing action tonight.
Just the first game.
Yep. Edney gets the first one. Hurley looking on. Lead is back to 10. A pair of free throws in this final minute of action from the rookie out of UCLA, who now has 4 points. Leitner firing for 3. Got it. Christian Leitner, and a whistle again on the backcourt. And this will be Marciulionis going to the line now for Sacramento.
I like seeing the ball in Rooney's hands and Tyus Edney's hands on situations like this, because both are strong enough and resilient enough and quick enough and adept enough with their dribble to be able to dribble through defenders.
Well, Gary St. Jean was preaching all week. You cannot take this Minnesota Timberwolves club for granted, as perhaps teams were guilty of doing in years past. We talked about their depth and the new faces. They have struggled tonight. This is a game that's had 9 lead changes, 4 ties. It's been very physical, but the intensity that Bill Blair's club has brought, I think, has been very interesting. And clearly, I think the Timberwolves on given nights are going to give people some real struggles in the NBA.
Some of the things I noticed in their notes were that in their 7 wins in preseason, 5 of those wins they won late in the game in the 4th period, which usually most teams had their starters out. So
Right.
that number to me is very misleading, being 7-1 in the preseason or exhibition season.
Porter loses the ball. Richmond with the strip, leads it out to Marciulionis. Rooney is fouled. Keep in mind also that the Timberwolves, in their 7 wins, they beat Milwaukee twice, they beat Vancouver, they beat Dallas, Washington, Miami, and Portland. So it wasn't as if they were playing, you know, the elite teams.
Right.
There wasn't a San Antonio or a Chicago or an Orlando or of that ilk in their preseason schedule. But nonetheless,
Still
I
good
think
numbers.
yeah, very impressive. And that's how you build with young new ball clubs. Marciulionis gives the Kings the 10-point advantage. That feathery touch again exhibited. The natural left-hander from Lithuania has 13 points on the night. We're down to the final 20 seconds of this ball game, and the Kings are about to go 4-0 under St. Jean on opening nights. They let Terry Porter have one virtually uncontested. He has 19. Corbin is chased by Mitchell.
Terry Porter's quietly put up 19 points this evening.
Well, the Kings crowd coming to their feet to salute them, as the Timberwolves will not contest. Edney will just dribble it out. And the Kings have an opening night victory at Sacramento's Arco Arena by a final score of 95-86.